Hi everybody, welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, with my Friday morning show, my outlook on the emotional exchanges. And so it's a reading for the elemental signs of the zodiac, the elemental associations, and it gives you an idea about your week ahead in romance, relationships, and love. So welcome to the program, everybody. This reading is from today, Friday, December 2nd, till next Thursday, December 8th. And I'm going to use the Mermaid Tarot by Lo Scarabeo for the reading, supplementing with the Eglipticos Care for the keyword for each sign. So let's get started. And I'm going to read for the air signs first. Air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And I pull 3 cards. And the first card is, what is the emotional happiness that air signs can find this week? What will make them happy? What seems to be occurring that is a good thing? And it's the Hermit. And it's upright. So the Hermit indicates maybe what makes us happy is that we have a chance for a little bit of peace and quiet, a little bit of solitude, a little bit of inner reflection. And maybe this is a good time for the air signs. You know, air signs are often thought to be more intellectual, cerebral-minded about a lot of things. So it could be saying that you are expecting to think a lot about what's going on in your romantic or emotional life, situations with your loved ones or your closest, most, primary partners or other people in general. It makes you happy because maybe you've been hoping to get ahead a little bit on maybe understanding, their philosophies or how they work or something like that. I don't know. That's an interesting way of being happy, perhaps. Now, the second card will be talking about what your emotional challenges are this week, air signs. And it's the Ace of Wands, and it's upright. So the emotional challenge, I think, is starting something new that maybe is more friendship-based than actual romance or relationship-based. It maybe is a new association. It may be tied in to that first card because maybe this is a place where there's community forums and people are able to express their views or their thoughts. And maybe this is playing into the idea that it makes you really happy to have this kind of forum, even if it's just, an online forum. But it could be a lot of things, it could be a neighborhood group or something like that. Things are, starting to become a little bit more connective again in our community. And I think this card says your challenge really is getting a good start here with a project like that maybe brings people together and brings charismatic thoughts, ideas, etc. together. So it does sound like a community group to me in a way. So it's a group of relationships with people. So it can be challenging, of course. All right then, so finally, what may be of concern, emotionally speaking, to the people around you, that you're connected to in various relationships? And it's the 8 of Swords reversed. 8 of Swords reversed. So what is concerned, I think, is some people that are close to you or that are around you in your relationships, they may have felt that they were holding themselves back, or they were allowing themselves to be held back, perhaps by their emotionality, or perhaps by the situations in their relationships, maybe bonds they felt or obligations they felt. And now the time has come, perhaps, for some of this to change greatly, and that maybe some of these people around you, this may not be affecting you directly, but I don't know, who knows, have you been maybe partially instrumental in why some people feel like they have limitations or boundaries that they didn't expect to have? I could understand, excuse me, if that was like maybe minor children, and you read so much about it in the papers, or you see it on the news about people's children who are led to trust people, or who are lied to about other people who are predators. So this could be saying watch out for things like that too, that maybe if you feel like you have removed limitations for minor children, or if younger people, then maybe you're a little responsible for what happens, and you need to make sure that they are safe too. So that was the gist for the air signs. Hello, my little friend. Hello, my friend down here. Say hello to everybody. She probably won't. Sassy. Hi, sassy girl. We're going to do the word of the week now, and it's a keyword pulled from this deck, which basically works with keywords, a focus word, we can call it, an overall word, a word of the week. And I'll do that now for the air sign specifically. All right. So the first word of the week is for the Gemini. Gemini has contrition. So contrition is like an act of forgiveness, asking for forgiveness, or asking to be forgiven. So in the context of the reading, I'm looking at a hermit, I'm looking at starting projects with that ace, and then I'm looking at the last one, maybe the sense of people around you freeing themselves from limitations. So I wonder if it could be connected to that latter one there, the idea that maybe you need to be somehow conciliatory in some way. I don't know that you have to say you're sorry about that, but maybe if you are more involved in this idea here about people removing their limitations, you may have to be more helpful in terms of accepting some of that responsibility. So then moving on to Libra. Libra has innovation. And in terms of romance, relationships, emotional things, innovation to me suggests that maybe in all of this idea of what's going on here with trying to create a new space for people to share philosophy or share thoughts or dialogue, there's a lot of innovation that maybe Libras will be drawn to work on, to do something that is innovative, but yet perhaps just simple and suitable to the needs. Of course, that last part is just me. Now then finally we go to the Aquarians, and Aquarians have immortality. That's the death, number 13. And so for Aquarians, I suppose if there's this sense of philosophy and removing of limitations carefully and building towards something new that's communicative within a group of friends or whatever the social situation is, then immortality says we're really looking at a longevity and something maybe really change agent here. And so we're looking at that whole week there of those ideas, and we're saying, where can I really affect major change in these areas? Where can I do something that is innovative, like Libra's had? Very interesting. So that's the words of the week and the gist of things for the emotional exchanges for the air signs. So now we will move on to fire signs. Fire signs who are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So in terms of romance or relationships, is it a hot time in the old town tonight? Let's find out. So for the fire signs, what is bringing them pleasant emotions, emotional happiness this week? Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles. There's a real sense here that everything feels very loving and giving, that there's a true spirit of generosity, of a feeling of being helpful to people or being generous in terms of maybe other more physical material help they need, lending money. But in terms of emotions, this probably does just really talk about a flooding of emotional happiness and current giving, receiving between you and others. It could be the start of the holiday feeling that's bringing us that. It could just be specific relationships or situations, but I'd say that it's probably maybe we're moving into the holiday season and now people are really opening up their hearts in a way. Fire signs are. So then, what is the challenge? What is challenging the fire signs? And how interesting, because you get death too. You get death reversed. And the challenge says that maybe it's not as easy as it looks. That maybe there is an emotional inertia within some of the fire signs to fully move into that idea of opening up their heart chakra or whatever we want to call that, and embracing, this holiday spirit. So the challenge is that something is stagnant, something is winding yourself into a closed space. You're really going to have to think, fire sign, what is it that you need to relight it and recharge it? Because clearly that is a challenge for you. It may be something specific that's really messing with you. Maybe you don't feel worthy. Maybe you don't feel like you can be generous for some reason. So then what will affect others around you emotionally, those you care about, your platonic friends, but also your loved ones, your primary relationships, your children, siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, parents, grandparents, whatever it is, what is affecting them? It's the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. They too are sensing this real beginning of love and happiness. They're falling into the engendering of goodwill in the holiday season. And I think that it could very well be that they will be looking at you with your low energy in the heart, and they will feel they need to bring some of that to you. So it seems like it's kind of a continuum, in that, if you're possibly disaffected by the holiday spirit, oh, humbug and all that, or you're seasonally affective depression, I have a touch of that, it starts getting darker and I just get a little gloomier in some respects, or so people have told me. Let's see what's going on with the word of the week for the fire signs. Maybe this key word or focus word may give you a clue on a better way of, dealing or handling situations during this week. So fire signs, first we are going to do Aries. What is your word of the week? And Aries, you get the Weaver. And it's kind of like, goes along perfectly with a couple of these cards here, that you are the person maybe who can really figure out how to find the connections, get in touch with people, or delegate it to someone who can, and you can weave this idea of opening up the holiday spirit and moving love and generosity. All right, fire sign Leo. And Leo, you know, you are about the self-care in this regard. And I think maybe you're looking more towards that stagnation part of this week here, feeling that you need something for yourself. It's not just about saying, I have to find energy, but maybe it's also really a stagnation or inertia that's caused because there's a little bit of bereftness, Leo. There's maybe something that is a little bit lacking. You may not be able to get it from outside yourself, but it doesn't mean you can't try to give yourself an early Christmas present, or, you know, just a good time in some respect. You know, go to a spa, go to a club, go have a drink, whatever it is you need to feel a little better about yourself with restraints. I did mention drinking, but I think it's important to say in the holiday times, we all need to understand our limitations. And then finally, fire signs, Sagittarius. You got the best option of all. It's regeneration. Your word says that this is a good time for you to really think about doing the regeneration thing. And maybe this is more likely about going to the spa, the gym, the library, places where you can just invest in yourself. Maybe you go to the Y and you get in a group exercise program or swim program, whatever it is. You know, your libraries have book clubs, things like that, that will stimulate body, mind, and spirit. And this is a good time. Holiday time of year is a good time. It's a renewal time as we move towards the winter solstice, when once again the sun is reborn, or at the very least, depending on your theology, the sunlight starts returning. The days begin getting longer. And this is just my shameless plug for me and Banshee's TFT special Journey of the Fool Winter Solstice Tarot celebration. Our details are falling into place, but we believe it will be on Yule this year, December 19th, which is a Monday, probably about 9:30 in the evening. You are invited to bring your own tarot decks because there will be an interactive portions of the Journey of the Fool. It's kind of different for us, and we think we got a good handle on it, so we would love to see you at that. Don't forget to come to it. All right, so now we are going to move on to the water signs. Water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And in terms of emotions, you know, you're the ones that maybe the tide is in or the tide is out. You know, you might be sweeping over, or maybe it's just a little bit droughty. What is going on for the water signs this week? What is going on in your emotional apparatus? So first of all, we ask that musical question, of course. What emotionally brings you happiness? What causes your emotional happiness this week? And it's the Page of Chalices reversed. And I think as an idea towards being happy, this is a card saying that maybe you find that mix in terms of emotions, and also, you know, maybe a little bit the material things you have to do. So maybe this is saying you have to work on your budget for the holiday, for whether you're able to get gifts or, you know, entertain during the holiday. A Page of Cups reverse could be saying too that you're looking at some practical issues here in terms of emotions or romance, and not so much maybe idealistic concerns. So you are really maybe thinking of where you can functionally really move things ahead in your personal relationships or your romantic ones. Now, and of course, it makes you happy to do that. That's the point here, that knowing this is happening is very happy, pleasing. Okay, so then the challenge. And once again, we have the Ace of Wands. The challenge is maybe the idea of really beginning this conversation, beginning this pull of magnetism or charisma towards your goals of trying to further your relationships. So it could be that there's a particular situation that makes it a little bit harder, but somehow I think that this challenge is a good challenge, that it's really just about finding the initiative to pull ahead and do that. It could also be too that if you're not normally super charismatic, you're going to be pulling into that a little bit. And then finally, what concerns those around you? And I have a feeling with the Hierophant reverse that maybe somebody is emotionally dealing with something that feels unusual for them, or that somehow has an idea that they're running against the grain here, that maybe something significantly makes them bristle a little bit at certain forms of conventionality. We could be talking about people who have very unusual relationships, and maybe they're moving into an even more unusual stance with them. Something does seem to be concerning with maybe people who just really are not able to quite work with society the way others. It sounds like upheaval of sorts, but it could also talk about people forming their own relationships unconventional as they are too. So let's go to the word of the week for our water signs, and that's the Glypicos Care that we're using. And I want to thank everybody for coming here today. Don't forget to watch Happy Hour. We'll be back this week after our hiatus last week. That's at Sundays, 10 a.m. at our YouTube channel, TFT Tarot for Today. And then Sunday you can watch Banshee's Material Matters. We'll be live in the chat room for this pre-recorded show, but it's always entertaining. All right. Word of the week, water signs, Cancer. Avarice. Something is bugging you. Something doesn't feel right. Something feels like you need to be more discerning about it, and that maybe, in fact, you have already decided that there's something about it you don't actually like. It could be even harsher than that. Water sign, Scorpio, art and science. I think this is saying that Scorpios need to look towards some little more abstract things in their emotional life, that maybe this is the week where they learn to appreciate who they love, or who they love emotionally in a bigger sense, for things other than just that emotional weight, but also things that are about their philosophies, their cultures, their traditions. Once again, I think the holiday spirit is sort of bringing a lot of this on, where we're looking around and we're trying to find ways to appreciate or to engender goodwill. So I am a little concerned with Cancer and avarice, so I'm hoping it's not going to be real deep-seated here. Finally, Pisces. And Pisces, your word of the week, whoops, I'm sorry, I drew from the wrong deck. There we go. Your word of the week is premonition. So I think, Pisces, this is saying that in terms of emotions, emotionality, you're going to be really intuitive about what these situations are here that are going on with that page there, the Hierophant, the unconventional friends or people around you, the idea that maybe somebody is unsure of their relationships, or they're shifting maybe from the more, emotional to more practical realms. It's kind of a mixed bag there. But anyways, we need to move on. We need to move on to the earth signs. And earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So what may be bringing you emotional happiness this week, earth signs? It's kind of interesting. It looks to me like maybe from some emotional point of view, some people are maybe separating, or there is some sort of dissension in the emotional realms here. Why does this make one happy? It could be that maybe this is a situation that needed to end already, that maybe this represents for the earth signs some people who have been waiting to kind of really complete a relationship on some level. It may be an emotional relationship that really was really wrong, or that has just somehow outlived its time. And so maybe the thought of being able to move past that separation is really what drives this too, and saying that there's a happier outcome when that can finally happen. And then the challenge with this is the reversed Eight of Pentacles. And this reversed Eight of Pentacles, well, it seems like the challenge is there still is work to be done here with this. And that maybe the work going into the idea of maintaining the separation, or working on the separation rather, is really going to be time consuming, and that there may be still some pitfalls here. There may be ideas tending to show that some of this is not working out very well. Maybe there's a problem with the actual amount of work or skills being brought to the situation. So there's still something going on with that first card, and it seems to be pretty challenging, all right. All right, and then finally for the earth signs, what may be concerning others that are in your emotional realms, people you care about, and it's the upright Four of Pentacles. This could be saying that other people are really needing to maybe be more reserved in their emotions. They need to hold on to things, and they're not willing to let them go. You know, sometimes for some people, the holidays are not good for people trying to be happy, because they just don't want to let go of certain things. And so somebody around you probably really needs to talk to you, or to have you available to talk to. It seems to be more about maybe de-stressing, or maybe just coming to grips with, their feelings about all of this, and that maybe they don't really feel very happy right now, or in general around the holidays. So let's finish up with the words of the week for each of the earth signs. And the first one will be the word of the week for the Taurus, the unforeseen. So Taurians, I think that in terms of emotionality, emotional situations, be prepared for maybe something unexpected or unforeseen to happen. Hopefully it's a good thing. It doesn't seem like it's maybe a bad thing, but it could just be that in terms of emotional things, maybe you didn't realize somebody really liked you, and they may reveal that. Or maybe you may realize that you like somebody and you didn't realize that. Or something emotional is going to happen that you had not foreseen. Maybe two people will announce they're in a relationship and you had no clue about this. People are announcing they're going to be getting married, and that was totally unforeseen or out of left field. So it really leaves a wide array of things, but expect a surprise of sorts in terms of emotions or emotional lives. Okay, so then on to Virgo. And Virgo has versatility as their word of the week. So emotionally, I think you have to be versatile. And it's not just more about, how you handle yourself on a date or elsewhere, but maybe about how you think about your emotional relationships. Maybe you have to give a little bit, like maybe you've kind of had a sense of your relationships that was pretty cut forward, linear, and maybe now you need to rethink that a little bit. I mean, maybe there's a reason why people did things and maybe it isn't exactly what you thought. You have to be a little more flexible in your approach to your relationships or how you think about them. Okay, so finally, Capricorn. The unforeseen, versatility, the unexpected. I think this came up before in proximity to one of the other cards, but the unexpected says that emotionally speaking, it's not just about what you notice happening, maybe that you didn't expect. It really is, maybe a shocker of sorts. I think there's a sense here that this is kind of a shocker, what is unexpected emotionally, and it could just be that if some of us didn't realize we were heading towards a breakup or towards changes or in our status quo with relationships, and so it could be really unexpected. On the other hand, there could be some good unexpected things too. I mean, it is the holiday times. Maybe somebody really comes forth with their declaration of love or an idea about something about love that maybe takes it to another level. Somebody says, hey, why don't we fly down to wherever and get married, elope. Crazier things have happened, so you never know, right? All right, so that apparently was the emotional exchanges for this week, and I'm pleased that you all were here. We'll be back next week for more. Don't forget to watch the shows I mentioned. And until then, I hope you have a really happy, pleasant, emotional week. Bye-bye.